Welcome to the Cake Adjacent Podcast, a once-a-week update on all things food, family, community, gardening, whatever. We call it SideCar. If it has to do with rituals around food and holidays, making food or taking it places, or remembering just what we were eating during important times in our lives, we'll talk about it here. Hi, friends. There is so much going on in the world, and in my world, and as usual, I struggled to pick a topic. So I'm going to be a little all over the place today. First, the topic choices were the story of Waffles, our rescue beagle, and the day-old hot dog, which honestly I can't believe did not win the Twitter poll because it's such a good story. But don't worry, you're still going to hear about it. The best carrot cake in the world and why it's so important to me. The story of how my grandmother in the late 40s had an illegal abortion and the fallout of that. And the story of my Irish grandparents, my father's parents, who came to this country on a boat in 1905. And the winner by a hair was the carrot cake story. But don't worry, you'll hear about the other stories at some point because everything is related. It may seem like these stories are somehow disparate, but they're not, at least not to me. So, one thing you may have figured out from me is that I have what I think is called object attachment, which I think also includes people, I guess. Probably because growing up I didn't have a lot of things or a lot of affection, so receiving things like gifts or affection is my love language. I also like to give gifts and affection, maybe because I assume everyone is lacking in those things. I'm surprised it hasn't gotten me into trouble as a boss at my job because I'm constantly offering hugs to my employees when they're having a bad day. But please know that I do say, "Would you like a hug?" or "Can I give you a hug?" before I actually give hugs, which maybe isn't much better since there is a power imbalance, but please do not send lawyers after me. So, anyway, when I find things that I love, whether they are books or kinds of yarn or snacks or brands of pajamas or socks or shoes or television shows or whatever it is, I fully embrace the thing and then I want all the things. And if that thing should at some point become elusive because of proximity or is discontinued or becomes priced out of my ability to purchase or because of supply chain disruptions, I will obsess about that thing. Right now, I can't get mango Pepsi, and I'm stocking all the grocery stores for it. And when I say all, I mean all like within 25-mile radius of my house. And in Northern Virginia, 25-mile radius of grocery stores is hundreds of grocery stores. Anyway, most of these things are small ticket items like a colorway of a baby alpaca yarn that I really love to knit with, or collecting all of Fatness's The Support Hippo's little rubber animal friends so I have at least 2 sets in case I lose one, or all the color of Allbirds sneakers. But for the past 14 years, I have been on a mythic quest to find a carrot cake that is as good as this carrot cake that I get in Providence at a little bakery cafe called Pastiche on the backside of Federal Hill. Every time I'm in Rhode Island, I buy 2, one to eat while I'm there, and one I will put in a cooler to drive home, cut up, and put in the freezer for when I'm feeling homesick. Everything at Pastiche is so good, from their simple lemon squares to their elaborate mascarpone torte, but the carrot cake is sublime. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I have bought it and tried to dissect it to get the recipe. I have been told, air quotes, that their recipe is based on the Silver Palette cookbook recipe, but I am not fully convinced. It is dark and rich without being dense. It doesn't have that weird, oily aftertaste that carrot cake sometimes has. It is chunky and full of nuts and coconut and pineapple and, I think, raisins. I have quite literally bought carrot cake at every major grocery store bakery in alphabetical order: BJ's, Costco, Food Lion, Giant, Harris Teeter, Safeway, Shoppers, Target, Walmart, and Wegmans, as well as hitting a few of the bakeries here like Cakes by Happy Eatery, and yes, that is their real name, and the Swiss Bakery, and the more I looked, the less I found that was acceptable. The closest one is Swiss Bakery when they started making theirs with pineapple, but it's not the same. Costco's isn't bad either, but it serves like 20 people, and while I can count myself as at least 8 people when it comes to cake, 20 is too many. So this bakery and cafe in Providence, Pastiche, has been there for 40 years. It's a teeny little storefront with maybe 10 two top tables. That's a mouthful. Although a quick check of their website tells me they don't have cafe service anymore, probably since the pandemic. They make birthday cakes in that they'll write on a cake for you, but they don't do wedding cakes, which I think is smart because honestly, who needs the hassle? If you want one of their cakes for your wedding, just buy it off the rack. And I know I've said this before, but Providence is a food town. When I went to college there, there was still a culinary program at Rhode Island School of Design, and Johnson& Wales is still there, and it is a food, hotel, and restaurant college. And it is one of those college towns where, for better or worse, some people call it gentrification, and I have very mixed feelings about that. People go to school there and then they stay and they open restaurants or galleries or consulting companies or storefronts or whatever. It's a town where there was once one fast food restaurant, and I think it was a McDonald's downtown, and it closed. Certainly on the periphery of Providence, as you get into the suburbs, there are some fast food joints, and there are certainly more now than there were 20 years ago. But for the most part, it is all indie restaurants, coffee houses, and diners. And over the years, I have made attempts at making this carrot cake using different recipes, but it was never right. It was either too much cinnamon, or not enough chunky pineapple, or it was too dense, or whatever. And at this point, I doubt I will ever make or find the carrot cake that compares to the carrot cake at Pastiche, because in my little pea brain, I equate all of the good things in my life, in my history, with my time in Providence, even though there were plenty of bad times there, obviously. And so I will never find joy until I find a suitable cake replacement, and since there is no replacing this cake, I will clearly never find joy. How messed up is that? Like, with all of the things that there are in the world to be upset and disappointed and mad about, that I am fixated on this stupid fucking carrot cake from my past. So, last week at the farmer's market, I bought some goddamn carrots. And I pulled out the silver palette cookbook recipe and I checked the pantry for ingredients. I needed corn oil and I had some old coconut, and so I consulted with my coconut consultant about using one expired coconut. If it tastes okay, it is okay because you will know if it's rancid. And two, using unsweetened coconut, you can actually add simple syrup. Everyone should be so blessed to have a coconut consultant, by the way. You know who you are, and I love you and our goofy friendship. And I asked around about whether people cook and puree their carrots, as the recipe calls for, or just grate fresh carrots. Nota bene, the coconut consultant is also my carrot counselor. And I followed the recipe, making just three adjustments. I used half the amount of corn oil and I subbed in melted butter. I added golden raisins and I threw in a pinch of cloves for good luck. I don't know why cloves is good luck, but it is. I baked it up and I frosted it and I put it in the fridge and I cut into it and it was fine, but it is not very good compared to the pastiche carrot cake. I mean, it's fine. It's a perfectly good carrot cake. But it was very heavy and it was dense and it was a little on the gummy side. It tasted just like the pastiche cake, but it did not feel like the pastiche carrot cake. The 2 layers, plus the 1 batch of frosting and the cake plate, which was melamine, by the way, so it was very lightweight, easily weighed 6 or 7 pounds, which is that's a lot of cake. I honestly did not expect it to magically be the pastiche carrot cake. I'm not sure what I expected, honestly. It would be easy for me to say that I was so disappointed and upset that I swore off carrot cake going forward and took to my chaise lounge with a cool cloth for my forehead. Maybe I am at that place where I am just so tired of being disappointed that I'm starting to just not care. Like, even taking into consideration the carrot cake colored glasses, it has been 14 years since I left Rhode Island and even longer since I sold my house, and in that time I have done so much. I went to graduate school and I graduated with honors. I changed jobs a few times and I have become a force to be reckoned with in my day job. I buried 2 parents and 3 grandparents. I've learned to knit and do cross stitch. I perfected boozy cherries and peach sauce, and my and Ben's chicken parmesan is easily the best I have ever had in my life, and I have developed a taste for all kinds of barbecue from all kinds of places. I've made lots of new friends, a few locally, but mostly via the intertubes, and I have moved forward through so many doorways despite constantly leaving the old doors open behind me, looking back to see if anyone is looking for me. Is it time to let go of the dream of that carrot cake? Maybe it is. Maybe it is time to find something new to obsess over. So I have 3/4 of a carrot cake in my fridge. Should I burn it like it was sage or something? Should I put it on a little raft in the Potomac River? Should I bury it in the garden? How do you let go of things? I'm someone who's always looking for signs in the universe for reason things happen or don't happen. And this carrot cake thing is clearly not happening, and that's got to be a sign, right? Okay, so if you're wondering why the pod is late this week, it's because I wrote most of it, really up until this piece, and then got really sick from something I ate at the farmer's market on Sunday morning. I don't think it was bad like food poisoning, but sometimes my delicate ecosystem has trouble with stuff, and man, oh man, did I have trouble with that garlic parmesan sausage, which I have had before, but you can bet I will never have again. And it's Tuesday afternoon, and I'm feeling about 75% better. I'm sorry that you missed Monday and Tuesday's food holidays, but did you love the little mini pod I did in the middle of the week? That was kind of fun to do. Should I do that more often? Food holidays to prep you for the weekend, or maybe recipe of the week, plus cookie correspondent? Let me know what you think. Okay, let's tackle the food holidays for the next 7 days. Today, the 5th of July, in this house is National Day Old Hot Dog Day, which you'll hear about on the Agenda podcast when that drops, either tonight or tomorrow morning or maybe Thursday. It is also Apple Turnover Day, and I am not ashamed to say that I love the Pepperidge Farm frozen turnover so much, and I buy all the flavors, but apple is my favorite. And then cherry, and then blueberry, and then peach. And raspberry is fine too, but I that's my least favorite. It's also Graham Crackers Day, and there's a whole sordid history about graham crackers. And I'll leave that for another day, but you can Google it. I'm a fan, but I like the cinnamon sugar ones the best. And non food holidays, it's Hawaii Day, which is absolutely controversial because I am not sure Hawaii really wanted to become a state, what with it being a sovereign nation and all, with their own government. And so while I love Hawaii, it is one of my favorite places on the planet, and I love Hawaiians because they are a very kind people. I am totally making a cringy face at this holiday, which I'm pretty sure Hawaiians do not celebrate. It's also Pet Remembrance Day, and I would love for you to tell me about a pet that you are missing these days. I am currently trying to get a pet off my lap while I do my podcast. Thank you, Clown Shoes. I know that I miss departed pets every day, and as you can imagine, as I just throw a pet onto the bed, the pets in my household have pretty big personalities, and when they're gone, there's a huge void. Tomorrow is National Fried Chicken Day, and I have to say that I don't think I've ever had real fried chicken until I moved to the South. And there's a place in Edenton, North Carolina, which is where Ben's parents used to live, called Chicken Kitchen, which makes the very best fried chicken fresh every day. And their hush puppies, Lord, they are good. I don't think I ever had good hush puppies until I was in the South either. It's also Take Your Webmaster to Lunch Day, and I'm pretty sure whoever wrote that website where I found that snuck that one on there. Thursday, July 7th is National Strawberry Sundae Day. Okay, whatever, that's fine. It is also National Macaroni Day, which appears to be some kind of free for all for macaroni. Mac and cheese? Sure. Macaroni salad? Yes, please. Macaroni art from summer camp? Go for it. It is also World Forgiveness Day and Tell the Truth Day. And I'm going to tell the truth right here. I am not comfortable with World Forgiveness Day considering some of the shit that has gone down in the world this year. Maybe hit me up next year on this forgiveness stuff. Friday is chocolate with almonds day, and I love chocolate with almonds. I also love chocolate with peanuts and chocolate with cashews. What I do not like is chocolate with hazelnuts, mostly because I do not like hazelnuts. It's also don't put your eggs in one omelet day, and I'm not sure what this means aside from the whole like don't put your eggs in one basket day. But that doesn't make sense because that has to do with if you drop your basket, then you break all your eggs. And if you're making an omelet, you've already broken your eggs, but whatever. But I guess don't put all your eggs in one omelet because who has a pan that big? Whatever. It's also Freezer Pop Day, and my favorite Freezer Pop flavor is banana, also known as yellow. And it's National Blueberry Day. I cannot say anything bad about blueberries because I love them. I have a very good recipe for blueberry cake, the Two Chocolate Cake Stories, and you can find it at twochocolatekes.com. Saturday, the 9th, is Sugar Cookie Day. And if I had to pick one cookie that I had to eat for the rest of eternity, to the exclusion of all other cookies, or make, it would be sugar cookies because you can cut them into any shape, and I probably have 300 or more very fun cookie cutters. I'm a cookie cutter collector. Please see the beginning of this podcast about how I have to have everything. And you can decorate them with all kinds of sprinkles and sugars and chocolates and things. You can also freeze them very easily. They are a very versatile cookie dough and cookie. Sugar cookies. 2 thumbs up. Sunday the 10th is Pina Colada Day. And I am a fan of all of these things except for the liquor that goes into them to make them a drink. I like things that are flavored pina colada, including Chobani has a Greek yogurt that's pina colada, and I love it. It is also Kitten Day, and yes, I feel like I do need to say it every time. Kittens are for playing with and loving on and dipping in that lime sulfur if they have ringworm, but they are not for eating. It is also Don't Step on a Bee Day, which is a really weird way to appreciate the important work pollinators do, but I don't make the calendar. If I did, I would probably word that a little bit differently. Finally, it's Teddy Bear's Picnic Day, and I'm not sure if you're supposed to take one out on a picnic or if the teddy bears are supposed to go have their own picnic or what, but I'll let you work out the details here. I have a few teddy bears, and I'll ask them what they would prefer. I hope they don't want to go out for seafood because I hate that. Maybe we'll just order a pizza and watch the bear cams at Katmai National Park on explore.org. That sounds like a good way to spend an afternoon, to be honest. Monday the 11th is Blueberry Muffin Day. Tuesday is Pecan Pie Day. And just to get you excited, Wednesday is French Fries Day. It's also Beans and Franks Day, or as we called it in my household, Beanie Weenies. Okay, friends, that's your sidecar for the week of July 5th, 2022, and I hope that you are properly outraged at the events of the last few weeks, months, and years, because if you're not, then you might want to find a new podcast to listen to, because I'm always outraged. Call your legislators, local, state, and federal, please, and make sure they know how you feel. Write letters to the editor of your newspaper, show up with your poster boards and your protest t-shirts, and don't fall into a trap of thinking there's nothing to be done, because there is everything to be done. I'm sorry that we have to do all of it, but I do not make the rules. In the meantime, remember, keep plenty of fresh water out for your pets in this hot weather. Put a towel on your non-cloth seats in your car so you don't burn your legs. And a difference of opinion is whether pineapple belongs on pizza, not whether women should be allowed the same bodily autonomy as men. See you next week.